Spring was taking its time to arrive in Scotland this year, and after a really poor winter in terms of snowy conditions and wintry goodness, spring seemed to throw in some nice surprises with some late snow and the cold weather actually arriving and hanging on. When I looked out of the window this morning, the sky was blue and the sun was shining, and I had half a day to head out and enjoy the great outdoors. So I headed to the Cairngorms for a classic half-day scramble and walk. Well, I've just arrived at the car park, and it's an absolutely gorgeous April day, and I'm hoping to get some nice alpine conditions today. I've only got half a day, and the good thing about this car park is it sits about 600 metres up the mountain, so it's cut out a lot of the hard work for me, and I'm really looking forward to getting up here and hopefully getting some nice views and having some fun. So I'll wait to get my boots on and start walking. After getting my boots on, something strange happened, and I got a piece of equipment on that I haven't had on, well, since last summer. Yes, the sunnies came out, and once I had the sunglasses on, I packed the bags and was soon heading along the well-constructed paths which lead away from the car park. It's such a hive of activity up here. You've got the Cairngorm ski centre, and there was lots of skiers up today enjoying some spring snow and some great skiing conditions. And it's also, due to its height, the Cairngorms actually holds 5 of the 6 highest mountains in Scotland, and due to this and its elevation, it usually gets the snow first, and is also one of the last areas to lose snow in the winter. I don't know if you can tell, but the sun is splitting the sky. It's absolutely gorgeous. What a lovely spring day. And where I'm headed, I'm in the Cairngorms. I'm in the northern flanks of the Cairngorms in Scotland, and I'm going up this sort of hill behind me here. It's actually, I don't know if you'll make out, but on this side here there's a corrie. I think it's Corranlochan, and on that side's another famous corrie called Snechta. And I'm going up the ridge between the two of them, and there's a wee easy scramble at the top that I'm going to have a look at. I'm not sure if I'm going to attempt it or not. It depends on the snow cover when I get up there. But this is just lovely, irrespective of whether I do a scramble or not. This is just a beautiful day for walking. Said blue skies. I can't see a cloud in the sky. It's not often you see that in Scotland, so absolutely lovely. So I'll head up here a bit further. I'll try and get some shelter and stop and get a bit. Maybe just on this slope up here, and I'll stop and do a bit of camera there. Anyway, let's get cracked on. In between the snow patches, the boulders of the Cairngorms were protruding out of the snow, and these provide some lovely grippy surfaces for my boots to stick to, and they also provided some nice shelter spots. And I found a nice shelter spot in between the rocks where I sat down and decided to have some lunch with a grand view north over Strathspey. Well, what a fine spot to have a bite to eat. I can see right down over Strathspey and down towards Loch Morlich, and what's the hill, the wee hill there? Mila Buchel, I think it's called, and it's just got a wee cap of snow across the top. It's just beautiful. You can see down Aviemore. It's just lovely. These northern corries of the Cairngorms, sculpted out of ice, and the Cairngorms are kind of the highest, probably the highest set of mountains or hills, highland area with the biggest surface area out with the Nevis ranges, and certainly it's actually got more of a surface area above a certain elevation than anywhere in the UK. And I think for wildlife enthusiasts and geologists, it's quite a unique place in terms of being a sort of Arctic tundra environment with unique wildlife and fauna and what have you. And it's also a playground. I mean, on a day like today, the car park was full of late season skiers all heading up into the slopes in the corrie over yonder. I can see loads of people enjoying the snow, walking up the paths, and yeah, what a fine day to be out. So it's a busy place, but it's a special place. I love these mountains, so I want to try and get up to the top, just to the edge of the plateau, and then skirt round the Corrie rim before heading back down through the ski centre later on. But there's no rush. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the sun for a bit longer. Fantastic. Ooh. After enjoying the sunshine for a bit longer, it was soon time to get cracked on, and before long I was gaining some elevation and the views started to open up over the two Corries. And also that wildlife I was talking about started to say hello, and I don't know how many of these I saw, but these are a couple that I caught on camera, a couple of ptarmigans still with some of their plumage on. It was just lovely, and the granite was lovely and sticky, and most of the ridge was free of snow, and I could see the final scramble ahead of me as I headed up towards it. And at this point the ridge becomes a wee bit more defined, especially over to the left into Cairngorms, and you get a real sense of height, and as you're striding along here the drop off to the left into the Corrie becomes a bit steeper, a bit more exposed. If you wanted to, you could keep to the right a bit more, but the real fun's on the left hand side, and that goes for the main route as well. But what a fantastic place to be. Absolutely magic. Bump in the ridge provides a grand viewpoint of the Corries and of the route ahead up the Fiacaill Ridge. But after a while, after soaking in the views, I decided it was time to head on and start to think about heading up the steeper part of the Scramble. Oh, well, look at that. The sun is still shining, which is fantastic. It's a wee bit of a breeze here at the col, but you can see the Fiacaill Ridge going up right up here and onto the top. It looks like most of the snow is cleared from the Scrambly bits, but I'll have a wee investigate when I get round the corner, but it's going to be fun. It's only about 100-150 metres up until the top there, but it's some great scrambling. This rock here, this granite, is super grippy. It's absolutely fantastic, and the position we're in is just lovely. You can see into both the Corries. This one's obviously a bit busier than that one because it's a bit further away. There's lots of climbers and what have you, and different routes today. I think there's plenty up Pygmy Ridge and places like that, so yeah, lots of people enjoying this beautiful weather, and quite rightly so. Right, let's get to the top of the Scramble and enjoy the walk back round the Corrie. Woo. The route kind of levels off a little bit and drops down before you hit the actual main part of the Scramble, and I was keeping a good eye, having a look at the rock to see that it was snow free. Had I come up here and it was covered in snow, I would have had to get the crampons on here and the ice axe out, but it was looking pretty good. There was one or two wee patches of snow and one or two little bits of ice on the rock that I had to be wary about, and I certainly didn't rush up the first part and took my time just making sure it was all fine, and certainly to the left, which gives the sort of more exposed scrambling and slightly harder grade, was actually easier today because little bits down to the right were covered in snow with quite a big run out, so care was taken, but lots of fun was being had. Superb. Well, about halfway across it now. It's not halfway in height, but certainly halfway distance wise. There's been a few wee easy scrambly bits, and the rock for the most part is nice and dry. Now it's a steep part coming up behind me there, I don't know if you can see that. A nice wee scramble coming up here, but not a place you want to slip. You're straight down at the Corrie down there. So much fun. Just take my time. I'm not going to be videoing too much of this because I need to concentrate on this next steepening now. Whew. Lovely. Right, let's get on with this. Fantastic. In these conditions where the majority of the route is dry and snow free, it provides relatively easy scrambling, maybe grade 1, maybe slightly pushing grade 2. And there's not many of these kind of routes in the Cairngorms where the grade's quite low and scrambling. I mean, there's plenty of good rock climbing territory and the steep cliffs that cut into the plateau. But in terms of easier stuff, this is about it, and perhaps Angel's Ridge, which I did last year in the summer or a couple of years ago. It provides even easier scrambling, but this is just, it's a fantastic way to get onto that high plateau of the Cairngorms. Well, in a lovely location, I'm very near the top of the Scramble now, and you can see down where I've come round the ridge of round the edge of the corrie rim there, up this Scramble, and it's not too difficult. There's a few icy patches and what have you, but what fun, absolutely fantastic. And I turn round, you can see where I'm going. That's towards the end there, so a few more moves and I'll be on to the top of the plateau, just at the edge of it. Absolutely brilliant, what a day. So the only main negative thing about this is just as you're getting into it and things are really getting fun, it's over. The route's too short. It's a real shame it's not a little bit longer, but it's still great fun. Nearly there. Nearly there. Fantastic. Woohoo, look at that view. Here I am. That's me done. And behind me, you'll not be able to see this in the camera. I'll spin you around in a minute. But this is the edge of the plateau. I'll just turn you around a wee bit. There we go, you can see me now. I can just see for miles now. It's absolutely beautiful. And this late snowfall, which is coming spring, is just making the whole plateau nice and white. It's not complete coverage, but still absolutely beautiful. And what fun that scramble was. It's not overly difficult. It's a grade 1 scramble, but it was touch and go on whether I put the crampons on, but I stuck to the left-hand side of the ridge, the part of the ridge nearer the corrie, the steeper drop. It gives a more interesting scrambling, but today I really did have to keep to that side because it was the only place where there was dry rock, and there was more snow in the easier part, which made it more difficult. So absolutely fabulous, what a day. So now just to have a beautiful walk around the corrie and back to the car and then back home. So let's go down and see if I can take some pictures and just enjoy this. Absolutely fabulous. Right, let's go. So I was soon making my way on to the main plateau, which is a real Arctic or tundra environment, and it really does feel unique. It's a different feel, different world up there. And today it was so nice getting onto this plateau and not being blown off my feet. There's been plenty of time I've come up here and topped out onto the plateau and the wind has been howling. It can be a wild, wild place. Anyway, back on the plateau and my friends reappeared. Wonder if it was the same ones I saw on the way up. Well, what a place to be. That's me on the rim of the Northern Corries now. You can just see around about here there's not much snow, it's melted away, but over towards Ben McDooey over there it's all snow covered, and you can see to the hills on the other side of the Larry Grew, as well as down towards Lurchers and Helms Deep, and Afterthought of Retz down here as well, Ben Avon and Lochhaven. Absolutely lovely, and there's Cairngorm Mountain over there over my shoulder. It's just one of those days where I don't want to leave. Lots of snow, very slight breeze. I could probably do with taking this hat off and this jacket, but when the breeze picks up it does get a wee bit colder, but there's not much at all. It's just one of those days, so I'm going to take my time coming down here and descending down. I'll stop and take some photos and just enjoy it. Absolutely perfect. Right, let's saunter on now. And saunter on I did. It's a lovely walk this round the Northern Corries. If you don't fancy the scramble and getting your hands on rock, there's a lovely route that takes you around both corries and around the rim and back down to the ski centre, which provides, especially on a day like this, provides amazing views and a grand walk. And what a great day I was having. I was eventually reaching the end of the corries and I decided to stop and take some photographs. look at that. What a view. I can see exactly where I've come from, just right round this rim. Don't know if you can make it from up there, but I'm getting towards the end of the Corrie rim now, and behind me, just probably towards the back of the picture you're looking at, you can see the ridge I came up, and the Scramble just at the top, and then round the rim of the Corrie and up and round and back down. It's been absolutely brilliant. Just one of those days. The only thing that's not so great is, you probably see I'm down to one walking pole now, and the second one snapped a wee bit further back. These are kind of collapsible ones, and they fold down quite short, so I brought that, so when I did the Scramble, it wouldn't be sticking so far out of the bag, so I don't usually use these. And they were next to useless in the snow. They were more like probes, because they don't have snow baskets on them. Anyway, it's done the job for me. They'll be getting chucked out when I get back, because one of them snapped. So, but yeah, what a day. Absolutely lovely. I think there's been more snow in spring than there has been all the way through the winter. If you've been watching the videos recently, you'll have seen more snow in the last few weeks than you have throughout the whole of the winter, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. But this is nigh on perfect conditions. If I had my tent, I'd probably be camping out, but I don't. But anyway, I need to head back down now, back into spring. I'll leave the winter behind. This might be the last taste of it for a wee while. So back down, I'll probably be in the heat by the time and de-layer by the time I get to the car. So yeah, absolutely beautiful. Let's go.